They say Brittany Griner is back in the United States after Russia. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Today is not my day. Wow. Well, I should try to line this stuff up, try to get this thing going. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to our Morning Constitution production of Jay in Washington. Uh, I'm Joel Hawksley, your host, and good morning, good morning, good morning. It's always wonderful to start the morning with a few glitches, and I said today I was going to make sure I talked about a specific thing because my daughter, she suggested that I should, hey, Dad, why don't you drive me in so you can have my car and then Mom can just pick me up. Okay, so that doesn't seem to be a problem. Not a problem. I can do that. If there was anything that could get in the way of getting to her work, it happened. So we're going into Longwood, then, you're going to make a turn. You don't know because you weren't there. So you get down to the light, you make the turn. It's one lane because they're fixing a bridge. Well, the bridge is not that far away from the intersection. So you know what I'm getting at, right? So we're in the middle of the intersection. We're tucking our cars in like parking lot as they come over to a red light. So they're coming up to a red light. Never mind. I was going to say you can't make this shit up, but you can't. Like, why are they working on a bridge in the morning during rush hour, one lane? And I looked, I was upset, but when I looked to the other side, going towards the light, oh my goodness. I'm not good with distance, but it's at least 3/4 of a mile to get to the light. So it was at least a half a mile long. So all those people waiting in traffic, I'm sorry, I made it. My daughter's like, "Oh, Dad, I don't think you're gonna make it to work. I'm sorry, we should have probably dropped you on." Really? I will be on time for the morning constitution. That's the only thing is being on time and having time to test things is always a little different. So I keep looking over. I keep looking over at somebody. That's our producer, John, our intern. So I have so many questions for him. As he comes in, I was going to ask him how his other internship is going. Wait a minute. Tonight, okay, so last time I told you there was something happening. If you went to the nightclub and you didn't see anything happening, that was because I blew it last Thursday. David calls me up or reaches out to me and says, "Hey, Joel, what's going on at the Nightshade tonight?" I said, "Aren't we having having that club thing?" And he goes, "That was yesterday." Calendars. So planning. That's what I have on here is planning. Let's make sure planning. Like, how do we plan? What do we do? Well, we definitely always look at David's calendar because it's always filled out. Coffee is good today. David doesn't, John doesn't trust our coffee. He always comes with his own. I love that. I mean, I should come with my own, but then the coffee pot would never get used. So let me see. I'm looking at my iPad over here. I haven't had my iPad in a while, so it's kind of neat to see what I have. And I'm going to put it right here so I don't have to look at anything else. There. If it crashes and burns, it's on me. Did something change about this thing? I don't know. Maybe I'm just off. I don't know. So, all kinds of things happening right now. All kinds of things happening. The county is, it's doing well. The Seminole County, it's still standing. Congress is in session. Oh, yes. Well, everybody's trying to think, what is the planning, right? What should we be planning for this year? Well, if you're interested in running for office, this is the best time to run for office. Twofold. If you want to run in 2024, this is your chance to plan. But if you live in Orlando, the city of Orlando, and you live in, districts 2, 4, and 6 was last time. I'll get the districts later, but the mayor's up for election. And they do it in November in 2023. So guess what? They're planning on you not knowing anything about it. Only people going to go vote are the people that work for your current commissioners. Those people in city government. Perfect way to do this. I'm telling you, that's. Hey, when should we have our election? Well, it kind of conflicts with the presidential. There's a presidential primary, preference primary. Well, we should move it to the other year. Now let's put it in 2023 when nobody thinks there's anything going on, and we can slide ourselves into. We never have to leave office because guess what? We don't have. We don't have term limits in the city. Buddy Dyer's been there forever, over 20 years now. So, I believe Sheehan is up for election. Bakari is up for election. Oh, and that would mean that I can't believe his name just popped out of my head. Mr. GQ. And David's over here probably pinging me, and I can't see it telling me that it's it's right there. He's a good friend. The one I know the best, and I can't remember the name. Look, 55 years old. It's no excuse. Somebody gonna all those commercials I see on the websites that say you can help your memory. Guess what? My memory is shot. There's nothing helping my memory because there's just nothing helping it. But I do have the senseless information, all this history in my head that I can't get rid of. And it's the stuff that nobody talks about. So I was just reading a book. Oh my God. Joel reading a book. That's unusual. I read a lot, but I don't read a lot, you know? So it's called, I'm going to pull it up here because I don't want to get the name wrong, and I want to give credit to the writer, even though it's probably something you would never get from the title. The title of the book is The Problem of Democracy. And I'm like, okay, I know democracy. I think it's going to be about democracy. You know, democracy is a government. A true democracy always leads to chaos, and then it leads to a brand new government. So the fact that we have a republic with a democratic system to elect is we are a democratic republic. So I think we're going to have a conversation about the democracy. And instead, this is a book about John Adams and the raising of John Quincy Adams. Now, if anybody knows anything about John Quincy Adams, one-term president, just like his dad, but he beat somebody, and that person that he beat is the reason we have a two-party system as strong as it is now, because Martin Van Buren ends up working diligently to create the perfect Democrat Party. But people don't know that necessarily that Van Buren created it and structured it and made it the way it is, because the father of the Democratic Party is Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson loses to, actually, Jackson wins, but he loses. One of those things that you guys don't like to talk about because it's always conspiracy when somebody has more votes and somebody else wins. So it goes to the Congress, and the Congress has to make a decision. So the deciding vote that put John Quincy Adams in was Henry Clay. Now, if you want to talk history and you want to talk about something very interesting, Henry Clay. When I talk about planning, again, I just want to make sure you don't think I'm jumping off topic. So I'm reading this book and I'm like, wow, John had no discipline. John was he was suffering from depression at times because he thought, maybe if I was a farmer, it would be better. But being a lawyer, in Massachusetts, it wasn't there. And his dad was so supportive of him. And you can tell because John Adams wrote some of the most beautiful letters. I mean, clear, concise, loves his son. He's real supportive of him. His son is 23 years old. He's all upset about having to still, rely on mom and dad for money. And his dad's really trying to just keep him calm because he knows the difficulties he's about to go through. So John Quincy Adams wins this election because Congress gave him the deciding vote. Specifically, the reason I mentioned it was Henry Clay is because he becomes the Secretary of State. So you probably should, John probably should have kept him in the Congress. But because he was given the job of Secretary of State, which the Secretary of State, if you don't realize, is the most powerful position after after the Speaker of the House. Now, technically it's after the Senate President, but the Senate President is the Vice President. So no, he would be. Sorry, guys, memory problems, but I planned this today. I'm going to stay on track. So planning was all that Van Buren did. He structured a party system. He created a communication network. A lot of people wonder why you have two newspapers. In a lot of major major cities, they have two papers. They have one that kind of leans liberal and one that leans a little bit conservative. But this is because eventually the Republicans are going to figure it out, right? They're going to say, how do they keep beating us and all this? They structured it so perfectly. They also said, oh, it's really expensive to send magazines and newspapers through the mail. So let's get Congress to make it cheap to send newspaper, still keep the postage at the same price, but they made it so inexpensive to get newspapers delivered, and you could deliver them to almost every home. They targeted the unions, they targeted everything that they possibly could in a structure, and they made it a party, a strong party. So only time you can say, "Ooh, for me." So it's one of the Democrats that impresses me, because most people don't give Van Buren much credit for anything. But check it out if you don't believe me, because I don't care. You can trust yourself and go in there and check it out. Because if you really dig in, you'll see an incredible huge amount of planning that went into it. So the mailers that you get in the mail, you can thank Martin Van Buren. That's how long ago it started. Martin Van Buren is the one who basically started the mailings. So that's my show. No, I wish that was my show. So what else? I did want to discuss something that I would urge you to please tune in at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, what we will be delivering to you is you can't make this shit up. And I think we have a powerful show today. There's some topics that I'm really interested in talking about, and one of those topics, just to give you a heads up, is Scott Maxwell is an opinion columnist over here at the Orlando Sentinel. He comes out with a column at the beginning of the year to kind of set the tone, who he is, where he's at. He says he's center to left. He kind of puts it out there. He's more left than he is center anymore, but he makes a huge point. There was in this lawsuit, and he agrees with the lawsuit, but he thinks that it just opened up a can of worms. So David and I are going to be talking about this because this affects you, all you people that support the non-party affiliate, the NPA races. You know how we want to make it so the stupid don't have to really think anymore. So to the point where you absolutely can tell everybody what party you're in on your mailings and everything else. To me, I get it. That's the law. You cannot infringe on free speech. So I agree with the law also, like Maxwell. But what we'll get into is, even though we may agree or disagree, we're going to just talk about the depth parts of that, because I'm going to share everything, because I have some really, I'm boiling up in my head because I forget everything, so I wrote it down so I won't forget. But yeah, I agreed with Maxwell on that. So if you don't read the Sentinel, I don't blame you. If you do read the Sentinel, be sparing, because you can only read so many articles without having to become a subscriber. So find a way around it. Tell me, because I definitely do not, until they start actually reporting good, solid news and a lot more local. And I get it. They're owned by, they're part of a conglomerate. The Chicago Tribune and the Sun Sentinel and the Orlando Sentinel. They're all together. So of course there's a lot of crossover coverage. So you end up doing a lot of reporting outside. But they'll tell you they're the best reporters in the world, because they were on Joel Greenberg from the start. Well, it wouldn't have been hard to be on Joel Greenberg, because he was probably the most controversial person, and he was worth watching. So yeah. And if you don't know who Joel Greenberg is, former tax collector of Seminole County, who was all about Bitcoin and crypto, and he was ripping at people off. He was making false ID cards. He was sex trafficking. He was, you name it, he probably was doing it. So, and the reason I can say that is because he actually pleaded guilty. Now, instead of getting 12 years, which was the minimum that he was looking at, they gave him 10 years. You can't make this shit up. So, what else we got? Oh, yes. Oh, I should have been planning would have been good. So tonight, if you are interested, I want to let you know that there's a great event tonight. And this event is a brand new place is opening out on iDrive. And they're going to have their ribbon cutting. I don't know if it's too late to actually RSVP. I just want to tell you about it, because this this is a great partnership because we keep telling you about political salsa. Well, we are in negotiation with this company, and we're really in a good conversation about maybe, most likely, having it there. We're also close to getting our primary sponsor, but Roboland at 6464 International Drive at 5:30 to 10:30, 10 o'clock tonight is doing their ribbon cutting, and I am so excited about this. I I really wanted to get get in there and do the whole thing, but I might see. I just don't know. This is the planning process. I had planned on getting down at 5:30. I had planned on trying to leave by 6:30 so I could get to Seminole County's executive meeting tonight, because at Seminole County Republican Executive Committee will have uh, my favorite congressman right now, my congressman for District 7. That would be Corey Mills. And if you've never met Corey, he's an incredible human being. He's an incredible man, and he really cares about our country and our agenda. He's a America First Republican. Keep your eye on him. I mean, he's already made a couple of good speeches. You may see. I oftentimes, if you follow me on social media, if you ever spell my last name backwards, you're most likely going to find me somewhere. So, like, that's how I kind of do it. So, if you take HAWKSLEY and just go backwards, you're going to have a way of getting in contact with me. I'm just sharing that because if you're looking for me, not our Jay in Washington, but I'm always retweeting, or he made one gaffe, and I don't even think it was a gaffe, but he was trying to be funny, and it kind of went flat. But there's no sense of humor anymore. But it was a sensitive issue. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, thank you. You can go look it up. Because Maxwell certainly jumped on it to make sure he had it plastered everywhere. So other than that, I just, I thought I would tell you about the, opening tonight. And incredible group. I wish maybe at the you can't make this shit up. I'll kind of share that with you, but I don't want to lose my thought, and I planned this out, and I want you to know planning is the most important thing. So if you're out there and you're thinking about going into politics, you're thinking about different races, you're thinking about, you've got to do the proper planning, and you have to have the proper support. I cannot stress enough, you cannot go it alone. You have to have your family involved. You have to have people involved. You have to get yourself a consultant. The most important thing, and we are consultants, but I'm not trying to just sell us. You need a consultant. You need a consultant that's either going to rob you. You need a consultant that's going to either guide you. You're going to need a consultant, because you cannot win if you go it by yourself. Now, I would hope you have a conversation with each of us. Make sure you have the right one. David and I will never steer you wrong. We truly believe that 100% of our efforts go into finding the right path for you to get elected. And if you're a Republican or Democrat, you will be working with people that know your party, and we will tell you if it's winnable. And if it's winnable, we will tell you which party it could win, why it can win, and we want the right candidate from that party. So I can't stress that enough, but I'm out of time. I'd just like to do a nice 30 minutes, and It's only 5 seconds left. So thank you very much. I'm sorry that I had so long a quiet spot, but again, I was just trying to uh, get in a little late because of traffic. And if I just said traffic, and everybody went, that's true. Now, off we go into the. I hope you enjoyed the morning constitution. I hope it gets better and better and better because I enjoy having these conversations with you. And I'm. Oh, by the way, I just want to make sure I plug my book. I'm going to start plugging a lot more. Please go to Amazon and you can download it for $10 and just if you type my name in or Bring America Together Again, it'll bring it up. But I'm so excited. The book is awesome. If I do say so myself, it makes great kindling. So when you decide that it's time to it gets too cold, you can please Amazon.com, go to search for Bringing America Together Again or Joel Hawksley, and it will bring it up. And you will have two editions. You'll have an edited edition that will be coming out very shortly, and you will have a audio, which I'm going to start working on this month. So please, Bring America Together Again. It's all about local politics. Thank you. And I can't think of how to do this right for you. And my sound is delayed. It's just delayed. I don't know. That one doesn't work at all. Yeah.